The fitness industry is so different now. It's so different than when I started years and years ago. And maybe it's that way for you too, if you tend to be a little bit older than the millennial generation or the Z's or whatever else we're up to right now. Everybody shares everything on social media, and fitness has such a crazy presence on social media. And the people at the top of the food chain are the influencers. And of course, they are some of the best looking people on the planet. Now, I can't front. I guess I would fall into that category since I am online and I have a business that runs online and everything that I do is online. So I'm kind of in that microcosm. But I try to be really realistic when I'm showing you guys my process, my life, and everything that I'm going through and how it relates to my fitness in a way that hopefully relates to you. But not everybody is like that. And to be honest with you, there's a lot of smoke and mirrors out there, and it can be really dangerous when you are comparing yourself to what you're seeing on a phone screen. I'm gonna tell you right now, don't always believe what you see. So I want to have a conversation with you today about the Instagram build-a-body and exactly why social media isn't real. And I hope that by the end of this video that you walk away with a sense of confidence in yourself and you start coming from a place of being less judgmental of you. And if you're somebody out there who's always dealing with comparing yourself to others, I really hope that I leave you with some tools to be able to get over that and go forward in your fitness and enjoy it, all while being inspired by those that you see online. But before we begin, I want to welcome you to today's video. If this is your first time here, be sure to hit the subscribe button and click the bell notifications and set it to all notifications so that when I release new videos, you absolutely do not miss a thing. And while you're at it, give this video a thumbs up right now, especially if you like videos like this and you want me to talk more about these kind of mindset things that are going to inspire you along the way in your fitness. And if you have any comments while you are watching this and something hits you, you want to share it, go ahead and put it in the comments below, because you know that I love to discuss with you and I'd love to hear from you guys. All right, enough of that. Let's go ahead and jump right in. So let me be honest with you here, okay? And one of the things I want to say to you that you really need to stop doing, and we're going to do about 5 points today. I want you to see the reality of what you're seeing, and I want you to stop comparing yourself to potentially cosmetically and surgically enhanced people who on top of that use filters on their photos. Yeah, honey, I just laid it out there and I'm getting honest with you about what's going on these days. Back in the day, we had more natural bodies. People really put themselves out there and they really train the body in order to look good. And of course, surgical procedures have always been around, but over the last 2 decades or so, you can literally be like Frankenstein and change your entire genetic makeup under the knife. And the thing about it is, of course, when you have work done, people don't talk about it. So now you're looking at this perfect specimen on your phone and you're thinking to yourself, man, I wish I can have that body. I wish I can look like that. And when you start seeing it over and over again and you're kind of questioning yourself wow, is this real? How are they looking like that? They must have incredible genetics. What's wrong with me? That's when you start getting into a dangerous game. And I'll tell you what, social media is so influential and it doesn't even matter how old you are. So it's going to be super important for you to start looking at things with discernment and allow yourself to be inspired by something that you see, but to be able to take a step back and think twice when you're looking at a photo that may not actually truly depict reality. The second thing that I think is a big problem within the InstaBody community, I'm not even calling it Insta Fitness, I'm gonna call it InstaBody, Build a Body. In the Build a Body fitness of Instagram and social media is that a lot of the advice that's shared online as far as nutrition and stuff like that is not scientifically sound. A lot of times, the information that you see fitness influencers share is based off of fads and stuff like that. I'm going to get into why that's happening in a moment. But also, some of it, again, is not even based in science. And some of these folks do not have any kind of formal certifications or education or even long-time hands-on work as fitness professionals. And I like to preface this by saying that I have my own, biases when it comes to certifications nowadays. I feel like it's so easy for anybody to take a test and pass it and become a certified trainer or a certified nutritionist. So sometimes I feel that the certification that you have is not really like an authority at all. The fitness industry is highly unregulated. At the same time, I think that it's really important that no matter what certification you hold, if you're sharing information with the public, that you should be like really well versed in what you're talking about. You should be reading studies. You should be going to like panels and just paying attention to the movers and shakers in the industry who are the scientists and the researchers. And these fitness influencers, 9 times out of 10, are not those kinds of people. So you really have to be careful when you're watching these things unfold online. Now, when it comes to the fads and the gimmicks, what you have to realize is that these products that a lot of these influencers are telling you to take, a lot of times they don't even take them themselves, but they're being paid to make posts about them and to get compensated for every time that they either share it with their audience or maybe even you buy a product with their discount code. So as you can see, it comes down to that D word again, discernment. The next thing you have to watch out for with a lot of fitness influencers, and one thing that I really think does a detriment to the fitness industry as a whole, is that a lot of the advice that some of these folks share is like an N=1 experiment, meaning that whatever they could be sharing as far as how they train, how they eat, etc., could work really well for them, but may not be ideal for others. There's a reason why when you watch my videos, I keep my information a little bit more on the general side. Although I might share things that I've done in the past and what works for me and what may have worked for my other clients, I always say to you, you know what? This is what worked in this situation. Try it. It might be good for you, but it may not work as well. And I'm always honest about that. And that's why I think when you're looking at influencers and you're trying to decide whose advice you really want to trust and follow, I think it's a lot easier or better to actually listen to people who have experience hands-on as a trainer or as a coach, and they have in their wake people who have had success with what they're saying to do. Sometimes you see people online who are sharing fitness information and they're only talking about their one experience. But when you see a professional talking about what they believe and what they do, and you see a bevy of clients that they left in their wake, healthy and sane at the end of the time that they're working with those people, by the way, okay? Do your research. When you see the proof is in the pudding, then you know that you can trust the information. And even then, I would go steps further to further research to make sure that what you're hearing is true. Be careful of that. Really look at someone's feed and see if you can pick up on their history and whether or not they're just telling you things from their perspective, which, listen, I respect that. But keep in mind that what they do for themselves may not work for you. The next thing that I think is a dangerous thing is that people are not honest about their struggles. They never disclose when things are going hard for them. Social media has this way of making us feel like we always have to be smiling and winning and doing the dang thing. And you know that life doesn't work like that. I mean, we have our good days, we have our bad days, we all do. And we tend to shield our bad days and only show the good days to everybody else, when actually being more honest and open is what can truly connect you to your audience. Think about me, for instance. I mean, you guys have seen me through all phases of like my life. You saw me at the top of the world. You've seen me when I was not, in the best shape mentally. You guys have been there with me every step of the way. And I wouldn't have it any other way, because I think that as a person who is out there as an influencer, that the more honesty that I can give you, the more you can see that, hey, you know what? She's normal. And if she can do it, I can too. So be careful of the people that you watch. If you're following someone who's always perfect, always positive, never seems to be going through anything, no ups or downs, they're just always up. Take a step back, especially when you're not feeling too good about yourself. Take a step back, distance yourself a little bit, and realize that you're only seeing one side of their story. And the final thing that I want to wrap up is just that, hey, listen, you are the one that's in control. You've followed these people. I mean, if you are following someone who makes you feel inadequate, that's a reflection on you at the end of the day. And it might be time for you to step away. Taking a break from social media is actually super healthy. I remember a time, like just recently where I had to go through my list of YouTube subscriptions and start unsubscribing from people that I was following because the rhetoric that they were putting out there was starting to really mentally affect me and impact me, and not in a good way. I've done the same thing with my Facebook. In fact, I'll tell you guys what, I have blocked all the Kardashians. I don't follow none of them Kardashians because I just don't like seeing their stuff and stuff like that on my feed. I can't relate to it. It's unrealistic. And I just feel like it's not something that I want to have in my energy field. You have the power to do the same thing. So control your feed. Unsubscribe, unfollow, mute. Do whatever you have to do to protect your sanity. Listen. These folks online aren't any better than you or I. But I will say that if you're looking at somebody else's life and you're feeling inadequate, there's a lot of work you might have to do within yourself and to heal within yourself to be able to enjoy social media and celebrate in somebody else's triumphs and still be able to do what you have to do for you. Well, that's it. I hope that today's video was insightful and inspiring. What are your thoughts? Have you been affected by any of this? And what did you do or what do you plan to do to kind of change that dynamic? Post your comments below because I'd love to